Hi, how y'all doing? Today is, what's the date today? I don't know. The 28th of September, 2025. It's Sunday. Here in Ontario, Canada, we finally got blue skies. Mm, a wee bit of lingering exhaust. Not as much. It is clearing out, right? There was frost on the ground that turned into a mist. It was different looking, right? Had one of my window panes completely whited out, and it took a few hours for it to clear up. But the other window pane right beside it, clear, right? So yeah, I've been up since about 6:30. I slept pretty good. I dreamt. I dream every night, but I don't recall. And then I got up and started my day. Um, Watched a few videos, but watched a Caribbean Aho, right? Read a books, old books from old videos like 5 years ago and stuff. And it's really resonating with me. I'm figuring a lot of stuff out, right, from our history after Noah, right, which was a giant, right, from America, right. And when I say America, I mean North and South America, from America, right. Canada is North America, right. So yeah, this is the biblical scenario, right? Because there's a couple, remember? You know what I mean? There's spiritual, there's biblical, right? So, yeah. So, after the Great Flood, right? After they destroyed Atlantis and caused the Atlantic Ocean, you know, and Atlantis flew off, um, then they were done riding around in their boat, okay? Um, they landed when they found land, and Noah said to his sons, he had what, four or five of them? Don't quote me, but he had a few, right? He was an Atlantean, right? We all were, that were from over here. Said to his sons, okay, this lot of land is for you, this lot of land is for you, this lot of land is for you, right? I can remember two of the names so far, Shem and Ham, right? And they're like, okay, thanks a lot, right? The rules had already been laid down on how they were to conduct their lives, you know, and hence the Ten Commandments, right? And there was only one problem. Ham, one son, didn't want to go where his father told him where his land was, where he could go multiply and flourish, right? He didn't want it because it was over where it was hot in Africa, which was not called Africa, right? But Ethiopia, I suppose. And so instead, he decided to move into one of his brother's lands and take over into Shem's land, right? And Ham was not a good son. He was not of a good moral standing, right? And after years and years and years, I suppose, of him causing harm and shit, the other brothers got together and decided that they were going to kick him out because he was, what do we call it? Squatting, right? On their property, on their land. And so they kicked him out and his descendants, right? It took a lot of work, right? They decided they were going to have to war with him, right? And they threw him off the land, got them in boats and sent them away, right? And they went out into the realm and started all the other civilizations, all the other countries, right? All of them. And after years and years and years of doing their bullshit and teaching their religion, they decided that they didn't want to be over there. They wanted to come back. They wanted his brother Shem's land, It was better here. This was the Garden of Eden, the land of milk and honey, right? They didn't like where the part of the world they got. So they were called Canaanites, right? And many other names because a lot of different people are born after, kind of thing. And you'll come tribes and get different names because of your father's name and shit like that. This is the patriarchal uh, story, right? Because it was never patriarch, it was a matriarch. But after Noah, it became a patriarch. So this is what I'm gathering. Don't quote me, right? So, yeah. He's that one. Everybody, I believe, if you have siblings, you have one in your family. I have one, right? My sister, right? When my mother passed, she wanted everything that was left to me and stole it, right? My mother knew it would happen before she died. That's why she made sure I got one thing, you know? But yeah, my sisters always wanted to be like me and have what I have. And she would take my, after I break up with the guy, she would date him kind of thing. And just ego, jealousy, you know? And I love her, but I won't be around her anymore because I know who she is now, right? I've seen that she's hated me her whole life, kind of thing. So that was Ham, right? And his descendants, because he was like that. I suppose they taught the children all grew up to be like him, right? So after years and years and years, they come back. They decide, no, when was it? 1492, right? They come back. Christopher Columbus is a title, not a person, right? He was melanated, black, and decided he still wanted this land, so they came back and invaded, right? And started slaughtering everybody and stealing everything that we had over here. So there's a lot of them in there. And then somewhere along the line, after the World's Fairs, they started pumping out the incubator babies, the Caucasians, right? And they started turning even all those melanated people, Ham's family line, lineage, white, Caucasian, right? It's different. I'm resonating with it though. And then I was learning about Noble Drew Audley, right? He's a man that's supposed to be a prophet. And I was listening to Karimio's breaking it down, right? Reading the books, finding out who he is and all that, because I wanted to know who he is. Turns out he was a Freemason too, right? He started the Nation of Islam, the Temple of Canaanite, right? And the way he talks and teaches stuff that he taught was that this is their land, their promised land. They are the chosen people, right? But they're not. It was Shem's people and his other two brothers, or two or three brothers, that didn't cause harm, right? That did what their father told, honored their mother and father, didn't go back on their word, and said that they would listen and behave, right? So, yeah. I'm learning. I am. They call themselves Moors or Moabites, right? Those are the Canaanites, Ham's lineage. So I understand more why the ancestors got tricked and slaughtered and why it was so easy, because they already knew the land. They were from here before, right? They just didn't go to where he was supposed to go and start his world, his land, his people. They did it here until they got caught, and then they got tossed out, Then they went and ruined all these other places and taught all their bullshit. And then they decided to come back with Christopher Columbus, right? On an expedition. Expedition means slave catching, right? To find people and make them your slaves. So that's what we've been dealing with. The Freemasons are involved in this, right? The little guys probably don't know, but they got the higher tier ones do, right? That's who our government is, and all the people in so-called places of power, right? So I'm understanding my ancestors more. I like it. I do. I wanted to know what it meant to be melanated because, like I said, I grew up in a town where there wasn't any. Everybody was incubator baby people here and colonists, right? No wonder my ancestors were treated so poorly. No wonder they picked on me so much throughout my life growing up. I can see it now. I know I'm knowing myself more now. I am, and it feels good. It does. Not all Caucasians are bad. They're not. They're not all incubator babies either, right? Because when it started, there was people of every hue. So, yeah. I told you how to find out who's an incubator baby anyway, right? You gotta look at how far back in their history they can go, you know? Or are they orphans? Do they come from orphans, right? Those be the incubator babies. People in Hollywood, in the music industry, right? Are probably hams people, the melanated ones. Not all of them. Because remember, everything's half and half, right? Because they gotta trick you. Make you think everybody's the same. Make you think there's a race war and everybody's different. That way, right? Because you're a different hue means you're the lesser or more of or whatever. But there's no little I's and no little U's. It all comes down to your character. Alright? You can tell the good ones from the bad ones. The good ones cause no harm, tell no lies, and be good people. The other ones are from Ham's line. They lie, they be bad, and they're not good people. And they cause harm. Right? So it's getting clearer and clearer to me. It really is. Schuman yesterday was at 58. I had a rough day yesterday. I had aches and pains and all kinds. My head, my neck. Oh, it was just horrendous. My back, my legs, my butt, everything. I sat in my chair most of the day with my grandmother's heating pad, right? Electrical one. I can only take so much heat and then it makes me itchy. So, I'm not sure why. Irritating my nerve endings, I suppose. But yeah, so yesterday I just sprayed myself with my spray to loosen my muscles and use the heating pad all over the place. Like put my head on it, my back, my butt, trying to get the ickiness to go away. The Schuman was 58 yesterday too. And I was like, why is this going on? What has happened, right? Why all of a sudden am I getting all this stuff? But who knows what energy they're pumping out. You see the color on my screen keeps changing, right? So yeah, I slept pretty good though. Once I laid down to go to sleep, I found a way to be comfortable, and I slept. I tossed and turned a bit, but I slept. Right? I'm feeling better today. Same as I had the weird things going on with my eyes too. Right? Like little lightnings all around kind of thing. My friend that got vaxxed, she says it's called eye halo. Right? That's why she gets her eyes tested all the time. You know? But I'm not so sure about that. I don't believe anything they say. Right? It's got to be for another reason. because they were all taught wrong. They were. Even the Moors. Unless they know they're from the Canaanites, but they're not aware of, maybe they're not aware of that they came from a narcissist in their past lineage, you know, that wanted everything his brothers had instead of what he was given. That's why they tried to off the ancestors, because they wanted this land. Him and his family, we're talking like this is going on for a very long time, wanted this land. They didn't want the land that they were given. They wanted their brother's land, right? Or spiritually, the other way, their sister's land. So yeah, that's why they offed all the ancestors and why they were so mean, because they're cruel people, right? It's whack. So I suppose that's the only way you know who they are, when you're around them. They're like my inbred cousins, right? On my father's side of the family. Weird. But yeah, it even solidifies now more that I am one of the chosen, right? We were meant to be here. This is our land. Not Ham's family, not the Canaanites. What a mess, man. I was sitting here talking to Source. It would just be like, Big Mama, this is quite a mess we got to clean up. And she said, we can do anything. That's what she said to me. We can do anything. Don't worry. This will happen. No problem. You'll have help. I was like, oh, okay. Right? Maybe that'll be the Schuman resonance spiking and the great solar flash flashing. Right? It's different. But it resonates. So I suggest you find out what your lineage is. If you come from the Canaanite line, you should probably change your behavior. Be good people. Tell no lies and cause no harm. Right? I didn't learn much about my father's side of the family. Just my mother's. Because once my mother and my father broke up, his side of the family didn't want to have anything to do with us anymore. Kind of sounds like a Canaanite to me, right? Where with me, I'm not like that. I wouldn't do that. You're my blood, right? We'll be family. As long as you be good people. Tell no lies, it cause no harm. So yeah. I'm glad the ickiness has decreased in my body. The only thing that's bothering me now is the bottom of my hips. I don't know what you call it, where your legs meet your butt, right? And my foot's tight. Hear that? Every time not every time, but that's relieving pressure because it's so tight, and I move it and it goes snap. That relieves the pressure, believe it or not. When it doesn't do that, it gets worse. I had a lot of pressure in my head yesterday too. I still have some pressure in my head, but nothing compared to yesterday. I don't know what was up with that. Whatever energy they're pumping in, like I said, right? It's weird. It'd be so much easier to deal with if I could figure out the program. I really would. I know, I'm not saying anything. I see a lot of birds in my tree in the rise. A whole bunch of little ones. I thought they were chickadees. They're not. They have blue wings and like a reddish orange breast underneath. A little white line above their eye. Right? Fast little birds. And then a bigger one. Like it looks like a big chickadee, but it's not. Right? It has a long beak. I don't know what it was either. It was hopping around pecking at the tree, probably picking up spiders and stuff, right? Which is good. He was a good hunter. That's why I said to it, "You're a good hunter, right?" You know what I mean? You're catching a lot of stuff because I could see stuff in his beak. In its beak. I think it was a he. But yeah, a lot of people out walking around today. Must be because of finally the sunshine, right? But I don't have any want to go out. I don't. I didn't do it like I said yesterday. I just looked after myself, babied myself, did my best to get the ickiness to go away. So yeah, maybe I'll go to the store tomorrow. I'll probably need to pick up a couple of things. I was thinking too on the internet. There's a video of a truck in London, Ontario, with raw meat just laying on the flatbed, right on the floor of the back of the truck. And somebody called in and reported it, and now it's on the news, right? And I was like, oh, so this is a setup. They're bringing attention to the meat for some reason, because nothing gets put on mainstream unless it's part of their plan, right? Part of a narrative they want to do, right? To get you to look at it, to worry about it, to be afraid of it, right? So yeah, I'm not sure how it's gonna tie into something. I'm sure it'll uncover something, right? But they just can't come out and tell you because these Canaanites are tricky people, right? They are liars at best and violent. So at least now I know who we're dealing with, and I know who I am. All right. Are we on a new moon phase? I think we might be. My video's going a bit longer. I apologize for that. I know everybody likes to watch shorts now. You know, shorter videos because, yeah, it's just the way you've all been trained through indoctrination in the schools, right? And through the internet. Today's first quarter. Action. Maybe that's why people are out and about, walking around, right? Driving around, stuff like that. Even a couple of the children. Action. Well, I just don't feel like taking action today and going to the store. I really don't. I'm going to baby myself a little bit more. I'm learning, right? Like Romeo, he is a very good teacher. If you really wanted to know stuff, the truth, I suggest you watch him. You may want to consider it. Karimeo, Kurimeo, Aho, Haho. Right? Very good teacher. You should start with his older videos. If you want to. If you don't, stay ignorant. I don't care. Right? I know what I'm doing. Don't mean to insult you. I'm just real. That's who I am. I'm used to people not taking my advice and getting smarter. Right? All right. Every day I have more wisdom than the day before. Every day I ascend more than the day before. Every day I have more gratitude than the day before. I love you all as a consciousness. Enjoy this night or day. Okay? Okay. Bye.